This is a headline on The Standard. 32 most tribalistic counties. A state agency has exposed counties whose key employment criteria since 2013 appears to be that you must be ethnically correct, meaning you must have been born there to get an employment letter. The report put together by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission lifts the mask on 32 counties that have violated the law on ethnic balance and diversity in public service employment. And a quick look at the first, I think, 10 on the front page. Nyamira County, 97.9% Kisii, Bomet 97.9%, Kalenjin, Kirinyaga 97.8%, Kikuyu, Elgeyo Marakwet 97.6%, Kalenjin, on and on, Muranga 95.2%, Kikuyu, in Uasin Gishu 94.4%, Kalenjin. Surely, because the law stipulates that at least 30% of the employment opportunities should be reserved for experts from different, from ethnic groups that are not predominant in that county. As senator and as an aspiring women representative, do you agree that this is the case in the various counties that you represent?
I think this exposes further some of the little weaknesses in our constitution to begin with currently. Let me say, because if you remember, during our constitution making process, the reason and how we ended up with the counties as they are right now was because there was no agreement from the first proposal to have the counties as larger inter-ethnic entities, and the failure to have that agreement resulted into the adoption of the proposal that the then district be adopted as counties. And remember, those districts were adopted from a long colonial heritage which was based on balkanization and the dividing of the country into small ethnic enclaves. And this is now what has come out to play out now in the later day with a new constitution, such that when you have a governor who sits in a county in Vihiga, in Kakamega, in Siaya, in Muranga, in Nyeri, largely the bulk of the people that you have in your county is your own ethnic group. And this has now further been empowered by our predominantly ethnic thinking and politics. And so when you go to most of the counties, I remember raising this question, having paid a visit to one of the counties. I was in the county of Homa Bay with my colleagues, and I remember that time I was even with Senator Halwale in our committee on public accounts. And when the entire team sat there and you would there's introductions going on, you are surprised to find that in that particular full room meeting of the entire executive team, there is not a single person from a different ethnic community. And this is not only in that county but in several other counties. And I think this is something that we must deal with, and because it is provided for in the constitution, I dare say that it is time to enforce this law. Look at the force and power that has been employed to deal with the question of the two-third gender rule. I mean, from new parliamentary proposals urging the Attorney General, going to court. This needs to be dealt with seriously. Otherwise, at that rate, we are doing very bad.
Incidentally, Kiambu County comes close to complying with that, because 74.4%, which is very close to 70%, come from the Kikuyu community. In Kisumu, 82% Luo. Kakamega, I've seen Kakamega here.
At the bottom there.
Kakamega, 81.2% Luya, and the Uasin Gishu we had seen here, 94.4% Kalenjin. I don't know where Nandi is. I'm looking for Nandi. 92.8% Kalenjin.
Ndimuli, this speaks to only one thing in my mind, that the presence of good laws or a good constitution is not enough for us to address the challenge of tribalism. The existence of the good laws and good constitution required the goodwill of the implementers of those laws and the constitution. I'm ashamed that the person giving us this propaganda in newspapers today is none other than Ole Kaparo. Ole Kaparo is now playing diversionary tactics. He now wants the focus of the lack of inclusivity in people accessing public service, that focus to shift from the national government and go to counties. In counties is a very small problem. Where the problem is in the national government. That's where the debate should start, whereby you find that only 2 communities are hogging over 75% of all public appointments. That's where the debate is supposed to be. But when you go to a place like, for argument's sake, Kiambu, Kabogo has done extremely well. He's been before Public Accounts Committee, and that statement then says, because they are saying such a county, tribe Kikuyu, such a county, tribe Luo, they want to pretend that the problem is Luo, problem is Nandi, problem is Luya. The problem is President Uhuru and his deputy Ruto. They sit in a boardroom, they share the country in terms of appointments, and now because Kaparo is an operative of...
I was wondering how you guys
this is a very important statement, because Kaparo is an operative of URP and later Jubilee. He wants to use this little thing that is going on in counties to sanitize the crimes that are being committed at the national government. Kenyans, it is true, these things that are happening in counties, but it's nothing, because they are sharing on 15%. But in the national government, they are sharing amongst people 85%.
Let's get this correct. You know, just very quickly. You know, it is extremely dangerous for this country, because this is the problem we are addressing now. This problem has been with us since independence, courtesy of largely, and that is how Senator Halwale started, that the presence of good laws is not enough. We need the goodwill of politicians. That's how he started. And then towards the end he diverts from what he started and then becomes the very politician he's abusing. He's saying has cost us this, because I will tell you this, the reason why today tribalism is still one of the biggest problems too, and the barrier to national development, is because of the existence of the policies of politicians like Senator Halwale now is trying to allude to. Because you know why? When you are faced by real issues as a country that you can address right now, then you quickly divert and take it to party politics and tribalism. This country is bigger than that. And I say this as I close, that the time we start addressing these matters as national leaders, that is the time when this country will see the light of day. And if you want to treat your cancer, you must start from where it is starting from, and that is right from the counties.
I think what this report fails to recognize is the formation of our counties. Like Senator Wamatangi said, and I'll talk about Kisumu County for example. In Kisumu County we have 7 constituencies. It is only one constituency called Kisumu Central that is cosmopolitan. The other urban and cosmopolitan. The other 6 constituencies are basically rural. So obviously 90 or 98% of the people who are there are Luos. Okay? Now when you have vacancies in Kisumu for example, and people apply, it goes without saying that majority will be from that one tribe, the Luos, you know. So this seriously does not look at the formation of our counties, but obviously if it comes to counties that are cosmopolitan like Nairobi, like Mombasa, it would be highly unacceptable to have one tribe taking over the chunk of appointments in that county. But in the rural counties, where the counties are made up of basically one dominant tribe, it's bound to happen.
Is it impossible to achieve? And before we come to you, because from where you come from, there's even a bigger issue, that you've moved on even from the county employment jobs, and now you want even to go to your appointments in the universities. And
which was built and is run by taxpayer money.
And Uasin Gishu Governor, let's take a look at this story. Uasin Gishu Governor